water, you could also just see it as a hydrogen ion. It is only giving hydroxide, which hydroxide means that we need the Kb value. So 1 times 10 to the negative 14 divided by 4.9 times 10 to the negative 10 is going to give us Kb. And we're just going to input that in the calculator right here. I made an error in the calculator. Give me a brief moment. And this is going to equal 2.04 times 10 to the negative 5. As our Kb value. Now we're going to use what we had before, where we acknowledged that cyanide is going to be 0.05 minus X. We're going to put that in the bottom as it is a reactant. Reactants are always on the bottom for these type of things. I'm not really trying to teach anybody here anything, although I'll end up teaching someone some things, I'm sure. But yes, obviously, if you really wanted to look into this and learn it, you would actually have to start with equilibrium. And before that, I can't remember what it's exactly called, but you basically find how much a specific reaction reacts in terms of rate at a specific time. And then from equilibrium, and from that you go to equilibrium. And equilibrium has no time variable, as every single balanced formula will reach a point where it is producing the same amount of products as it is reactants, and it is going back and forth. And because of this, it's not related to a specific time. Every balanced formula has them. Some favor the reactants more, some favor the products more, but they all have a certain point where they no longer produce it anymore. So 0.05 minus X, and on top is just going to be X squared, because X times X equals 2.04 times 10 to the negative 5, where that's what we found for Kb. And now we're just going to put this in the trusty old calculator. I'm getting X is 0.001, and there's no coefficient to hydroxide, so that is the hydroxide constant. Now here's the interesting thing. pH is the negative log of the concentration of H. pOH is the negative log of the concentration of OH. So yeah, you can technically do the P of anything and just call it the P of blah blah. You can do the P of your phone number, it's just the negative log of your phone number. It really doesn't necessarily matter what it is. But OH and H are constantly connected through that Ka and Kb thing, equaling Kw, and in general they are always interconnected. I can't tell you the exact reason, as sadly that's not how schools are really taught, where the exact reason is taught. You just kind of taught to learn the information and teach it to yourself if you have to. But negative log 0.001, and that is the pH, well, not pH, I'm sorry, of free. Now, you can always state this 14 minus the pH equals POH. 14 minus the POH equals the pH. So 14 minus 3 equals 11, which is the pH. Now, next the question is KNO2, 0.12 molar of it. Now, I'm going to go a lot faster with this. Now, I can tell you right now that H2O is going to add a hydrogen to the NO2 and make that an acid. And it's also going to produce a hydroxide atom, and that's essentially what we're going to be looking for. They all basically look the same. The only times it's different is if there's a different coefficient. But as soon as you learn that they essentially always either are taking a hydrogen or giving one, and you can always tell by whether or not they already have a pre-existing hydrogen. In this case, there is no pre-existing hydrogen. So, we already know that 0.12 minus x on the bottom, x squared on top. We're going to want the Kb value. Sadly, I only have the Ka here, and I have the Ka equals 4.5 times 10 to the negative 4. So, 1 times 10 to the negative 14. I just realized I didn't check the last problem. Don't want to be giving you guys wrong information, even though this is not meant to teach. That's slightly funny. My teacher actually made a mistake on the answer key. So you know how I told you that was 0.05 molar sodium cyanide? Well, in the problem she put x squared over 0.1 minus x, which would mean that the initial would have to be 0.1. And that is quite wrong. Quite wrong indeed. Ultimately, she's getting a very similar pH of 11.15, and I can say that I'm probably right. So I'm simply going to give myself credit for that one, as I feel I was probably right or right enough to where it's worth just giving me it. Excuse me, I seem to have lost my pen. I typically use a standard, there we go, multicolor pen for grading. I just always use the red. Let's finish off this question and a few others, and I believe I'm going to be done studying for the night. And I believe this will be the longest video ever, so I think some of you guys like the triggers at all, like my voice, or any of the page turning or the writing, then I'm sure it'll be considered a good video by you guys for the most part. Alright, so now let's continue finding the Kb value. 1 times 10 to the negative 14 divided by 4.5 times 10 to the negative 4. Sometimes numbers are just gross. Kb equals 2.2 repeating times 10 to the negative 11. It doesn't really affect anything because all of this is just calculator work anyway, but it's just a gross number, you know. Well, just put that in the calculator now. 2 times 10 to the negative 11 with x squared over 0.12 minus x. They all give about the same answer. X equals 1.632 times 10 to the negative 6. That, of course, gives the concentration of OH minus. So we want negative log 0.63 times 10 to the negative 6. That gives us POH of 5.79. And 14 minus this gives us the pH of 8.21. Alright, I'm starting to hear noise and crap like that in the background, and the last thing I want is for this video to be ruined if my brother or whatever makes a lot of noise and I have to cut it off and everything and just actually edit it. For those of you that don't know, because there is no actual mic or anything, and I don't actually have a background, the editing for this stuff is quite simple. I look through the audio, which means when I'm posting it to YouTube, and they give the edit thing, I typically scroll at a few random intervals in the video, typically around the same distance apart, and I listen and make sure that it sounds good, that in general it is not too quiet, and that in general is just to the point where I believe someone will find merit in the video, that they'll find it relaxing or tingly or whatever. And then once I am convinced of that, it's basically just coming up with some generic name. That's my cat. That's satisfying to me in terms of telling what the video is about. But obviously I'd appreciate any help. If volume's bad or whatever, if it's really soft, then please do tell me. I'll try and do without as much background noise in the future. But this has been Ferdinand, and I hope you all have a very nice day. I hope to all see you in the next video. Or I hope to see you all in the next video.